your AI is live. Users are using it. And it's quietly giving wrong answers to 10% of them. You won't see a crash. You won't get an error report. Your uptime monitor stays green. But your users are getting worse responses than they did 3 months ago, and they're just leaving. This is the silent failure problem in production AI, and it's more common than anyone admits. Most teams ship a model, run a few manual tests, maybe check a vibe eval or two, and call it done. But models drift. Prompts interact with real data in ways your test suite never covered. And without continuous evaluation in production, you're flying blind. EvalsHub is built specifically to catch this. It sits between your AI system and your users, watching every response, running automated evaluations against criteria you define, and surfacing failures before they compound into churn. Here's how it actually works. You connect your AI application, whether that's a chatbot, a document summarizer, a RAG pipeline, anything that produces text output. EvalsHub logs the inputs and outputs in real time. Then it runs a set of evaluators on each response. These aren't just keyword checks. They use LLM-as-judge patterns, where a separate model scores your responses against rubrics like correctness, relevance, tone, safety, and groundedness. You get a continuous quality score stream, not a one-time benchmark. The dashboard shows you where things are degrading. You can see if response quality dropped after a prompt change last Tuesday. You can see if a specific user segment is getting worse answers. You can see if your retrieval step is returning stale chunks that are poisoning the final output. That's real signal. That's the kind of thing that would take a human reviewer weeks to notice manually. What surprised me was how granular the failure tagging gets. It's not just, this response was bad. It categorizes by failure type, hallucination, refusal, off-topic drift, factual inconsistency. So you're not debugging in the dark. You have a taxonomy. Now, what it does not do, and this matters. EvalsHub does not fix your AI for you. It's a monitoring and evaluation layer, not an auto-remediation system. If your model starts hallucinating, you still need to go figure out why. Maybe it's a retrieval issue, maybe it's prompt drift, maybe it's a model update from your provider. EvalsHub tells you something broke and approximately where. The actual fix is still on you. It also does not replace your pre-deployment eval suite. If you have no evals at all, this helps. But it's designed to complement a proper eval pipeline, not substitute for one. Think of it like the difference between a smoke alarm and a fire suppression system. EvalsHub is the alarm. You still need the suppression. The LLM-as-judge approach also has real limits. Judges can be inconsistent on edge cases, especially in domains with ambiguous ground truth. If you're in a highly regulated space in medical, legal, financial, you'll want to augment the automated scores with domain-specific rubrics and human review loops. The tool supports custom evaluators, which helps, but you have to build those rubrics yourself. Where this gets genuinely interesting is the future trajectory. Right now, EvalsHub catches failures after they happen in production, in real time. The next logical step is closing the feedback loop, using those production failures to automatically generate new test cases for your pre-deployment suite. Every real failure becomes a regression test. Your eval suite gets smarter from live traffic instead of staying static. That's not speculation, it's the natural extension of what this tool already does, and it would fundamentally change how teams maintain AI quality over time. There's also a compelling case for drift alerting tied to model version changes. When your LLM provider silently updates their model, which they do, EvalsHub could automatically flag the statistical shift in output quality. Right now you'd notice it manually if you're lucky. Automated drift detection on provider updates would be a genuine safety net for any team running third-party models. So why does this exist? Because the AI deployment workflow has a structural gap. The tooling for building and fine-tuning models is mature. The tooling for evaluating models before deployment is catching up fast. But production monitoring for AI quality? It barely exists as a category. Most teams are using generic APM tools that track latency and error rates. Those tools have no concept of response quality. They can't tell you your AI got worse at answering questions about refund policies. EvalsHub is built for exactly that gap. The team behind it is betting that as AI moves from demos to real products, quality monitoring becomes non-negotiable. And based on the failure patterns I've seen in production AI systems, models quietly degrading, prompt changes causing regressions nobody caught for weeks, that bet looks pretty solid. If you're shipping AI to real users and you have no eval coverage in production, this is the category of tool you need to be looking at. EvalsHub is a serious entry in that space. Try it at evalshub.ai, link in the description. Next episode, we're looking at a tool that does something counterintuitive. It deliberately makes your AI worse in testing so you can find the breaking points before your users do. If that sounds backwards, stick around.